3 things that define self-improvement habits for me. Self-improvement habits are personal, long-term, and life-changing. And here are 10 self-improvement habits that I actually stick to for years. Reading books. This has been around with me for a very, very long time. I started reading books consciously. In the age of 16 or 17, when I left my hometown and I went to study in the university in the capital of my country, I discovered that I could download books and read them on my phone. So it gave me so much convenience, and I could read so many books so much faster rather than going to the libraries or going to the stores, buy physical books. It never really mattered to me if I feel the book in my hand, and reading on my phone gave me a flexibility to read whenever I want and wherever I want, in the dark, before sleep, in the public transportation, etc. And one of those books that actually opened up my mind was actually a series of books from Osho. He was really popular and still is, I guess. I was literally addicted to those books. I read roughly 10 or more of them. The most famous one and the one that I started with was Awareness. Those books, they opened my mind. I started practicing mindfulness. I started grasping new concepts of living in the moment. I went into yoga. I tried veganism and vegetarianism, whatever. The point of this, that reading at those times established a long-term habit for me to read books, because I found new concepts in there. I applied them to my life and I just opened up new perspectives. Later on, I went into philosophy, and later on, I went into different categories of books, self-improvement, self-help, and so on, which led me to self-discovery and so many amazing things and life-changing things in my life. So reading as a habit is a must. Next one will be listening to audiobooks. That was the next step for me. One guy recommended me Audible. You buy monthly credits and you can add any book to your library that you want and listen to it. I tried it and I still stick to this app. It's been at least 4 years. I have at least 45 titles. Most of them are finished in my library and I still keep going. That allowed me to consume books faster and in a different way. I started listening in English. That significantly improved my English and it was inside my head. So I started thinking with that English voice that I listened in the books. So I started understanding those ideas from the book in English, in my head. It was crazy. And by establishing this habit of listening to audiobooks, I was able to find books that actually changed my life. I am mentioning these books in this channel a lot. One of them is Robert Greene, The Law of Human Nature, and the other one is No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. Those two that actually stuck on my mind, in my memory, and they changed my life. That led me to so many self-discoveries. Highly recommend. Listening to audiobooks has been a life-changing self-improvement habit for me. Next one, meditations. It has been kind of a mainstream lately, recent few years, but this has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and it hasn't changed. And if you haven't adopted this habit yet, I highly recommend you trying it. It is tough at first. When I started out, by the way, I also started out in Audible with audio guided meditations that came for free with a subscription. And I remember I couldn't sit down in the half lotus pose. I was uncomfortable. That was stopping me from meditating. So I just started sitting on a chair. I remember when I first started sitting down listening to meditations, my mind was like, what the fuck are you doing? This is weird. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to do this. And every night I would sit down in that chair in front of my bed and listen. This meditation was recorded by a very nice female voice, so it gave me more motivation to listen to it because I actually liked how her voice sounded. So that gave me and allowed me to stick to this habit for 21 days and more than that. And every day I had different meditations, so it didn't bore me. But in this matter, I established a new self-improvement habit that I still have since 2019. It's been almost 4 years that I meditate every single night. I do skip sometimes, but it doesn't break my habit and my willingness. I actually would love to. I actually want to sit down for 5-10 minutes before bed, and I feel actually weird not doing it. That's how I flipped my mindset. Next one will be my own creation. Turn off notifications. At some point of my life, I've been very, very needy boy, and I was craving for attention from girls, and I had access to girls. I had numbers. I was constantly meeting girls in my work environment, in my place where I lived, and my lifestyle was and still is allows me to meet multiple girls often. And I was always texting them, and I was always so hot and so intense in it that I couldn't wait for reply. I was texting the girl, and then I had so much pressure waiting for that reply, and I was very, I would say, like jittery and nervous waiting for those notifications. So I was grabbing my phone all the time, looking for that reply. Is she replied or not? Is she gonna go with me on a date or not? Like, what's happening? And I was getting so frustrated when they don't reply fast or they don't reply at all. And I realized that this just drives me crazy. This just drives my mind insane. And I become stressed and nervous, and I just grab my phone every other second looking for the answers from everybody. Like I just needed it to happen fast. So the physical prevention of this was for me to turn off the push notifications so I don't receive any vibration or sound and no notification on my main screen on my iPhone. So I don't turn it off completely. I just leave it in my control center. So when you go to any app notification, you can choose where you can see those notifications. So on the main screen, no. Coming down from the top screen, pop up, also no. But in your control center, when you swipe down, you can see those messages. That helped me a lot, and it's also been around since 2019 for almost 4 years. I just removed this neural connection that I see notification. I never expected. My phone never vibrates or rings. Whenever I unlock my phone, whenever I'm ready, whenever I'm becoming free, I swipe down the control center and I see all the notifications, the messages and replies, and that turned me into actually less needy at that moment because I just unlearned waiting for that notification. It's just a little hack that you can try for yourself. I created this, by the way, and it really worked for me. Monthly voice recordings. This is my creation as well. I tried journaling, I tried writing down every day some summaries of my day, but somehow it didn't stick to my habits over the long term. So I really love speaking, and I found it more effective to speak and record my voice. But I wouldn't do that every day because there's not much to record, and it's going to be a lot of recordings. So I've come up with a system where I record a summary every month. And once the year is finished, I record a year summary. And in this manner, I already have every month from last 2 or 3 years. Why am I doing this? Because later on in life, I really imagining myself sitting somewhere really old with like a bunch of voice recordings and summaries, and I can go into any year or month, and every voice recording I name them with highlights what happened. So I can actually listen to my voice, my emotions, what happened, and just close my eyes and imagine how was it, and it will bring everything to my memories vividly. This is my concept, and also why I record this, because in the end of the month, once I start recording my voice and I hear what actually I have done, there are so many things that happen in 1 month that it gives me so much excitement what can actually happen in the next one. And it also gives you ability to learn how to speak and how to organize your thoughts and how to tell your own story, because you're speaking to yourself and you're so relaxed that you actually speak well. Try it to yourself. If you don't like writings just like me or typing, try it out. Gym. This is a very simple and obvious one, but it has been working for me on and off. I was not able to stick to it consistently, but I have been always coming back to this habit because I have never reached that consistency level and I couldn't break through my plateau in my weight and the weights that I lift. But last year, I gave myself promise that I will stick to it. And for now, I'm almost a year in the gym. I broke my plateau. I established my meal plans. I'm growing slowly and I will keep on going. This builds my strength. And most importantly, I do it for looks. I want to be aesthetically pleasing, aesthetically looking, attracting better females. Clothes will fit better, and so on. Next one is typing ideas and thoughts in the notepad on your phone. As I said, I don't really do a lot of journaling. Once in a while, I write something down, but it kind of became a little bit old school. So whenever I have an idea or a thought, I grab my phone, I open Notepad, write it down, type it down, because you cannot trust your memory. You forget things, ideas, and thoughts, and some of them can be really good. So I always type everything that I think it might be important while I'm walking or meditating, or it can be so random. Just get the habit of writing it down, typing it down in your notepad on your phone. Then later on, you can go through this and find something really important that can change your life. The next one, walks alone. This has been a life-changing habit for me, even though it sounds so simple, so non-important. But when I take my long walks, especially when I travel in Europe, there are so many beautiful parks. It's very walkable locations and cities. I walk for hours. I literally walk minimum of 2 to 3 hours when I travel, when I have time. Doesn't matter the weather. Put your comfortable shoes and walk. Take your AirPods, listen to a podcast, sit down on a bench in the park. This is how I contemplate life, think about life, remembering moments, thinking about the future. And honestly, I've come up with so many big life-changing decisions and ideas in those quiet moments of my walk in the park. It has just literally happened to me. I was in New York a few days back. I was walking around. It was a little bit gloomy weather. The rain just finished. I was walking out of Central Park, and out of nowhere, this thought came into my mind that actually will change the course of my next 3 or 4 months, or maybe even my life. This is very inspiring. So try walking alone. Why alone? Because you have no distractions. and you're completely with yourself. The next habit is pretty obvious, but I would like to emphasize that you still have to install it in you, and it is a will to learn. I would say I always had it in me, or I don't even remember how I established this habit or acquired this habit. What I mean by will to learn is desire. It's my own desire to learn something new, to find a new YouTube video, to look for a new podcast, to read a new book. I do have a need to find it and learn and improve and self-improve. And I'm really happy and grateful that I have it in me, because I know people, they just don't have it. They don't have need to do that for some reasons, and there is no judgment in it, but I do want it, and I love this will to learn. I hope I never lose it. So if you don't have it, get it. Try to establish it. Try to spark your desire and will to learn new things, because you are just the way you are with your own mind. It's just very narrow. It's just very selfish to think that you're good just the way you are and your way is the only right way for you, without accepting anyone else's point of view or others' experiences and knowledge. It's absolutely dumb and stupid. And I'm gonna end up this list with the last habit, which is investing. I never really tried it before, because I always thought, yeah, sure, I just don't earn enough to invest a part of my income every month. It won't make any difference if I invest that little money. So I always knew that rule that you have to invest part of your income, and over long term it will compound and bring big profits if you invest in the right things, stock market, cryptocurrencies, whatever. So I started it. It was a year 2021, I guess. It's been like 2 years. I invested $200 into cryptocurrency. And then I did it again, next one, and then did it again the next month. So after a year, I established a strong habit, and I found $2,000 on my account that was only investments, plus the growth that will possibly be happening in the upcoming years. It's insane. And I realized how easy it is for me right now to give those $200 first day when my salary comes in. I established the habit to pay myself first. After 2 years, it's $4,000. If it doubles, it's going to be $8,000. With cryptocurrencies, I'm not promoting it, I'm just saying what I do. The gains could be up to 5 to 10x. From $4,000, it's going to be $40,000. This is a very good fuck you money. You can have a deposit for your new apartment, you can turn it into business, you can bring those money to buy a car for yourself if you really don't care about those money. Doesn't matter. The habit of paying yourself first and invest in something, it doesn't mean that it has to be cryptocurrency. Now I have the habit, and now I can direct it in different ways. My body knows how to save those money first thing in the month, every single year, till the rest of my life. Try it out. Doesn't matter how much you do, it's about establishing self-improvement habit of investing. Your future self will thank you later. And in conclusion, I would love to say that if some of the self-improvement habits are mainstream or popular, it doesn't mean that it will work for you and it's the right fit for you. So I encourage you to try different self-improvement habits for yourself. Pick and choose the one that works for you and the one that you like. Test it over the long term and see if it sticks to you, to your life habits, to your lifestyle. If it sticks, add it to your list, and then add another habit in a similar way. Sooner or later, you will have a big list, just like mine, of different habits that actually work for you and fit your lifestyle. and change your life to better. I believe in you. And I recommend you watching this video right here when I talk about how I became better man, how I went from average man to a better man with some self-improvement advices inside. Check it out, and I see you in the next one.